Well, good evening. Happy Sunday. And I got quite a few plays. Uh, so let's just get into it, I guess. A little disclaimer, I'm not a financial advisor. Any profits or gains acquired from using my analysis, I can't be held liable. Uh, I do recommend you reading some books, watch some YouTube videos, doing some paper trading, and whatnot. Getting a feel for it before getting into the market. Do as you wish though. But let's get right into it. Okay. So for SPY, thinking that we might come down and either bounce at this 544.47 support, or if we were to lose it, we do got a demand zone down here, and this is 536.64 to 535.45. And I understand you guys can't see it, so I'm just gonna mark that like this. Boom, bada boom. And you go at the top end of that demand is 536.76. Bottom end is 535.57. So that little candle there. This is gonna be your demand zone. Better mark it, to be honest. I don't want to put another box. But we got a support zone right here at 544.47. And my initial idea is we come in, bounce here. It could happen on the overnight, aftermarket, pre-market. But we bounce here, reclaim the support, trendline support, push above this demand at 540, 555.14. If we were to push above that, we could see 561.11 as a support and resistance level. And then we do have a supply here. Let's do this. It's at 563.20 and 563, no, 565.65. Some reason I don't get it to pop up on my. Oh well, whatever. This is good enough. Good enough. All right. Push up into this 563, 565 range. Honestly, I could see us reject this 561 and then break below if we were to open in the market right below it and we don't show any improvement. Push down to this 536, 535 demand, and then push up from there is another idea. So kind of like a little bit of this crapola. And like something more like this. And then a little pump and dump. I mean a dump and pump. And then a reject. We're making another wave down. Or it could claim back above and push this way, and then make it its way back above. So a couple ways to see it, I guess. Man, if only I was good at computers. All right. So you got that. So either a bounce at 544, or a bounce at 536. And then you're looking for a break above yesterday's high. So that would be 551.68. And then push above 555.14. Let's mark that as well. There we go. Let's mark this yellow. So bounce push a break above 555.14, and then reject at 561.11 before another push up above 565, possibly next week. We might pull back towards the end of the week, and then Amazon and Apple earnings might push us up even higher, but it's another thing. Yeah, maybe this week we see highs of 565, 65 and higher. All right. So for IWM, I'm thinking of this small support level at 192.07 to 191.73. So 192.07, 191.73. And if we were to fail 191.73, we do got a demand zone right here at 190.31 to 189.38. And we can bounce from there. What I would really be looking forward for in the market this week is if we can break a supply zone above 195.51, and we can fill the gap that was left. I don't know. When was this? 4/2. So April 2nd. Fill that gap and possibly even reclaim above this demand zone at 197.10, 196.65. Wait, is that a demand zone or is that a support zone? That's support zone, my bad. Claim above the support zone. And then watch for 200 by the end of the week. Or maybe even next week. But yes. So a break above 195.51. Into about 197.12. And then 263. Or we lose. Why won't this thing pop up? We lose 192.07 and then push into 190, 190.31, 189.38 demand zone, and then push up from there as well. Those are a few plays that could possibly work out. I'm leaning for a bounce at this 192.07 and then a break of the 195.51 by Tuesday. Okay, so ARM. This is a breakout retest is what I'm looking for. Is a 109.90 and then a break of 114.83. There is a possible chance it can bounce off of 110.56, being that it is the crossing of the trend support. We could easily just open and push up from there. Said this is a play for a structure break. Seems like we just broke above it, the bullish engulfing, and then we had a doji. And I would be looking for the next high as a possible level for target. Let's see if I can pull it up here. So 126.27. This would probably take 2 weeks, to be honest with you. More realistic range would be this fib at, what is that fib at? Well, 120, 112. That's 50% on that. I think it's this little fair value gap on the hourly. Not very trustworthy, I tend to like fair value gaps on the 15-minute or the 5-minute would be okay. But it's just something to keep in mind. Probably see a little bit of resistance there. But yes, so a 110 bounce or a 109.90 bounce. And my stop, honestly, I don't know. I'd probably risk like maybe 25% of the contract just to give myself a little leeway. Another idea that could come down to play is a bounce down as 105.52 to 105.06. That would be a really good idea if we were to push into that level. Let's say we fail this 109.90. I would be looking for this 105.52. But depending on how price market is, depending on the candle, on the hourly candle, I might just go with the 109.90. Okay, another play is this Walmart calls. They have earnings, I think the 25th, if I'm not mistaken. No, it'd be the 15th. Yeah, so the 15th. So I was watching for the support bounce. What is this? At 94.76 to 94.41. And I know I liked how we got a nice little doji with a large wick. I was kind of looking into see if we can bounce from there and then possibly break the supply zone. Or not really caring for that hourly supply, but this resistance zone at 96.45. The next we could see is 99.22. It's got a pretty decent free range, to be honest. Let's see what we got. Suppose we do got a little support and resistance line right here. At 97.41. Mark that purple. This could be interesting. If we were to lose this 94.34, there is a support at 93.76 to 93.43. We can see for a possible bounce to the upside if honestly we were to fail 93.41. Our next bet would be this demand support at 91.19 and 91.56. So that demands 91.19 and 91.56. But yes, that's one thing we could see. I'm leaning for calls. I purchased 100 calls 2 weeks out. But I guess we'll see tomorrow if I get stopped out below this 94.34. Another play on Apple. Kind of want to see how we fare from here. Kind of pushing for more upside. If we can keep holding above this supply zone at top end of supply is 207.94, and then we have another supply zone that we can watch for, which would be the next price targets would be 212.94 to 212.60, and bottom end of this range is 211.44. And then if we were to break above the 212.94, we have 219.23 to 221.02, and then 225 for our next targets to look for. If we were to fail this 204.45, possibly come down, bounce on this hourly at 202.60 and 201.90. And the next demand would be 195.34 to 194.30. Marked them the wrong colors. I'll forget. Either way. But yes, I want to see how we fare above this supply zone at the 207, 207.95. And then this one caught my attention. I was just kind of going through random stuff. Big Bear AI, they do have earnings on the 1st. Overall, we had a nice breakout candle yesterday on Friday. Kind of want to see if we have more continuation, and if anything, hopefully earnings is pretty good. I don't know. I'll probably pay a safe bet on that. AI has been doing pretty good, but I understand they have some fraud lawsuits and some other stuff. Not very appealing. But it's worth a shot. I know it's a higher risk, but it's worth a shot. You being the candle, the daily close. If we were to fail, we'd be failing somewhere to the lower end of $2.95. That's also a place where I'd be looking for a bounce. It's between that demand zone at $2.95 and $3.01. So 6 cents demand. Another entry would be at the top of the candle at that $3.66. They do have a support resistance level at $3.69 and $3.77. You could also watch for resistance at those levels as well, or even $4.23 and $4.18, which we have a little bit of resistance as well on this ticker. So that's one thing. I mean, even if we pull fib, I guess you could keep an eye on the fib for that candle. That daily candle is $3.28 and $3.19. Possible areas for retrace and then a bounce up. And then hood. I'm aware that they have earnings coming up. Oh no, that was. Oh wait, that's on the 30th. Okay, so that's on Tuesday. Honestly, calls. I mean, I hate saying that, but they've been doing pretty good, to be honest, and can't deny it. But for a trade, see if we can get above 49.88 and then push up from there. I mean, next level is pretty far out to 54.45 to 55.18. Either there, we retest this supply zone that turned into support and resistance at 48.12 to 47.65. That's one idea. See if we bounce at 48.12 to 47.65 and then a break above 49.88, or just a break above 49.88 would be sufficient, depending as long as price action is viable with the volume. And then Rocket Labs didn't have anything on that. Amazon, could watch for a bounce. Hey, here we go. Let's do this. Watch for a bounce at this demand at the 186.59 to 185.42. Oops, that was Friday's trading. Crap. Or a break above the highs, this 189.89. Next level, you could watch for a possible resistance. Be right here. It's 190.69, and then we have a supply zone. See if I can click it. At 195.62, 197.42. I already forgot. Damn, see how easy that was? 197.42. There we go. I didn't need to be there. So 197.42, 195.62 would be your next targets, above 189.89 to 190.69. Bounces is at 186.59 to 185.45. Next level of demand is right here at 181.70 to 180. I actually kind of like that, I'm not gonna lie. But yep, those are your demand zones. Let's see if I do boom. There we go. I'd be really open and into buying a whole lot more down here. But either a bounce at this 186.59 to 185.45, a break of 190.69 for a second target. This would be your first trim at this 189.89, and then watch for that 190.69 to stop out your runners unless it can break, or a 185.45 reject down to 180.170 to 180. That'd be another position you could probably take for an upside move, and then just go for the retracement of the 185.45. Forward, that was my long-term Pinterest. That was fucking 2-day fling. Starbucks, I'm still waiting on Starbucks, but they do have earnings coming up on the 29th, so they have Tuesday. So I might just go for a play already. I'm pushing and leaning for calls. Let's see what they got. So 330. Wait, this is 83.81. Yeah, so yeah, 330, 340. I could say that's minus 20, so 320. So 650. My brain ain't braining right now. 650, so 3 on 6 would be 9, plus deviation of 1, so it's almost say 84. So you got looking at 90 and 77. So 90 calls or 77 puts for your single standard. Double standard deviation would be 96 calls and 71 puts off the top of my head. Probably go extra. Probably do like May 9th. I really don't have a whole lot of open interest or volume. May 16th have some pretty good open interest. No, 95s aren't so bad either. Anyways, I'm not on the live stream. But yeah, still waiting on Starbucks. I'll probably give out an alert tomorrow. And oh shit, it's 8:30. But let's not retrace. I'm glad you all stuck out. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe, and hopefully I can get better at this. I know I'm not entertaining, but I'm gonna try to do better. But hit that like and subscribe for daily content. Sunday to Thursday, that is. And soon I'll be posting the Discord for you guys to be able to join and partake in the live trading that we associate with ourselves with whatever, you know. Hey, and if you want, not trying to advertise, but we do have merch available for you guys to purchase if you're willing to support the channel. It'll help out a lot. I mean, I guess not really, but yeah. Take care. Have a good Sunday night. I hope you make money tomorrow. And trade safe, trade smart. Always remember, it ain't my fault. Alright? Just saying. Whatever happens, happens. The market is volatile, especially during this time of how everything's been going. It's been very volatile. So watch out for them rando tweets. And good night. Alright?